Yeah, welcome to this edition of Headliners. As a part of our lead up to Election Day 2011, we will bring to you representatives of various major political parties in Thailand. It is undeniable at this point that medium-sized parties are the determining factor in the outcome of the upcoming election. It's almost a concluded fact that the two major parties, both the Democrats and the Pheu Thai, will unlikely win an overwhelming majority in this election, enough to set up a one-party government. So it will look for coalition members. Whichever party is able to collect those coalition members will be able to set up the next government. Today we talked to representatives from one of the major medium-sized parties in Thailand's political scene. It was a determining factor in setting up the Democrat-led administration during the past 2.5 years. It played a very big part in the coalition government. Today we talked to the Phumchai Thai Party. I welcomed the party's spokesperson, Kun Supachai Jaisamut, and a member of the party's campaign policy team, Kun Dr. Kirati Kit Manawat. Sawasdi ka. Thank you both for joining us today. Let me first of all ask you about your policies. We're here to talk about your policies first. So let me ask you about the policies that you want to let the voters know this time around.
For general election?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we will campaign for our policies, for rally for the election, for many policies, because we think in this time is the first time for our party for general election. As you know that we formed our party 2 years ago and to support Democrat Party.
Yes.
And then this time is very challenge for our party that because the first time.
You're on your own.
Yes, sure. Yeah. And we think this time is the time that to tell the people how our party think about the many problems in Thailand, many problems of the people in this country.
Yes.
Especially the farmers, the people who lives outside the city. That the point is that we have to tell them what we will do for them.
Okay.
So we have a major policies, about 9 policies, and Dr. Kirati is one of our team for the policies. I think it's better for him to explain to you briefly.
9 major points.
Right, we have 9 major points. Let me give you a little bit of the overview. Within Thailand, we have about 67 million population, and within that number, about 20 million or about 40% is all farmers or agricultural related people. And this group of people has been neglected somewhat by the previous government. All of the major policy we have seen to be only discussed about how to develop Bangkok or the surrounding region, but not the 66 provinces in the surrounding area. So what we need to talk about in this campaign is how to make those people's lives better. So our policy is concentrating on the development of the rural area. For example, one of our major policy is about water. So we plan to bring water supply to the agricultural region within Thailand. So what I would like to talk about is, for example, in Isan area, in the northeastern, we have about 50 million rai. And within those 50 million rai, only about 10 million rai, or 1/5, is able to grow 2 crops per year.
Yes.
The rest of that is only 1 crops. And even 1 crop, sometimes they have to depend on the weather, which is very erratic, Drought, sometimes flood. So in this time, our policy is to look at how we can manage the water supply. And not only that, we also looking at how to provide them with alternative crops, such as the rubber trees. We have the plan to go ahead with the rubber trees plantation as the alternative for the crops for the farmers. And also we have the policy for these people how to bring their crops into the city center or to sell these crops. So we will proceed forward with the policy of the dust-free road. I think you heard of the project before.
Yes.
In the past government, during the past 2 years, we have been building about 3,000 kilometers of dust-free road.
Are those 3,000 kilometers done yet?
Yeah, it's already
Yes,
done.
yes,
It
already
was
done.
done during the year 2009 to 2010.
Okay.
Right? And within
by the transport.
yes, sir, by our transport minister, Mr. Sopon
Sopon
Saram.
Saram.
Yes.
Yeah. To
So-
remind you.
Yes.
A highly controversial project at the
Yeah,
time.
Yes.
At the time.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It seems controversial, but let me ask you, the lives of these people depends upon how they can commute from their home to the school, from their home to hospital. So without developing the dust-free road project, it's very difficult for the people who live in the rural area to get better treatment or equal treatment comparing to the people who live in the city.
Just for our foreign viewers here, when we talk about dust-free roads, we're talking about paved roads,
Yes,
concrete roads
yes.
In the rural areas of Thailand. Most of Thailand, obviously, in the rural areas, still have dirt roads. Poomjai Thai came in, Kun Sopon came in, the transport minister actually headed out a project called the dust-free road, or basically, paved roads throughout Thailand. 3,000 kilometers done so far. You
Right.
want to continue that?
Yes, we want to continue that. In Thailand, we have about 12,000 unpaved road at the moment. And from all those 12,000, our party plan that within the next 3 years, we should be able to complete all of the currently unpaved road. So, that if I traveled before with the minister,
Yes.
and to go into the rural area, sometimes only 10 kilometers, it takes me an hour or an hour and a half. And the quality of life is so bad in those areas. So what our party want to do is to help the people who do not have the same equal chance as the people who live in the city.
Okay.